Buenos Aires. Please welcome Constanza Novick. Gracias. Thanks for coming. I'm super happy to be here. This is like home to me because I lived here a couple of years ago. It's true that this is my first feature and this is a film about friendship, and I'm so happy to be sharing this film with Diana, who's my friend, and to be here in LALIFF. Thanks so much.
Yeah!
And Coco will be here at the end for a Q&A, so you can ask her lots of personal questions, which you want to do. Thank you.
On behalf of LALIFF 2018, please welcome the director of The Future Ahead, Constanza Novick. I am crying. I have, if you speak Spanish, me afectó mucho la película. We were talking earlier about being parents. There was just, I don't know, there was just so many details, tender details about this movie. Is the movie autobiographical?
Probably there are many things that happened to me, or maybe just I observed some of the things and some other happened to me. But I guess, yeah, everything you tell in a way has to do with yourself. So, yeah.
Yeah, I thought there were so many. It's interesting, right? And this is the beautiful thing about the cinema, is that you get to see someone's life and someone's stories from another part of the world. Obviously, we're a different gender, even different countries, different cultures, and yet there were so many details that I thought were very universal that even I felt. When did you decide to make the structure of the 3 time periods for, and basically where did the story come from? How did you develop it? And then when did you decide to do the 3 time periods?
Actually, when I started off writing the script, it wasn't a script for a film. It was like a play for theater. I was pregnant with my first child, and I thought it would be easier to put together a play because, you know, the long that it takes to make a movie. But then I realized that I wasn't really good at it, or writing the play wasn't my thing. So it turned out to be a film, and actually it was only the second part, like 2 friends reunited, and one being a mother, the other one wasn't a mother, and then I wanted to tell that they were friends for a long time, and I don't really like flashbacks, or I like when I see other people doing it, but I didn't know how to do it, so I basically wrote the first part, so it was very, it took a long time, and it wasn't like other works that I did that I knew exactly what the structure, how it was. It just keep changing. So I guess by the 7th rewrite, the structure was what it is right now. So it wasn't very, methodic kind of work. It was more spontaneous.
And coming back to this idea of having the characters be personal in different ways, what was it about that dynamic of friends, that kind of love, hate, push, pull? What is it about that interests you, or that spoke to you? I guess why write about that?
I think women are more passionate in terms of friendship. I think from a very young age, or at least that happened to me, I had a very steady best friend for a while, and then something tragic would happen and she would break my heart, or the other way, and that's a very female thing. I don't think men they can relate, but I don't think it's not that common to hear. When you're a teenager, you can even cry for a friend, or feel very passionate. And then I don't know. I wanted to show something that it's not idealistic, and there's nothing to be I don't know the word the verb idealized about it. It's just how things I felt or I feel that are between friends. There are good times, and then maybe when you're not in your best shape, you tend to not to be such a good friend. because you cannot even like manage your own life, so you can really be there for somebody else. But at the end, I think like, you know, true friendship can resist those times. So I didn't think in advance. It just kept growing inside, like that this was going to be a film about this particular relationship that is like a female friendship, and all the other things are like, you know, around.
That idea of not having it be idealized, of it just having it be real, it felt very real. I feel like I could have kept watching them to see what, you know, the phone call the next day, or even those stories in the, you know, the intervening years. I just feel like there's just endless episodes, that could happen. How long did it take you to write it, and then how long did it take you to film it?
Took a long time because I did it like for on and off. I had to take on other jobs to pay the bills, you know how it works. So I guess it was like 5 years for writing. It was a very long time. And shooting 5 weeks, much less.
Yeah, and then tell me a bit about working with your two lead actors. How did you? There were so many wonderful looks between them, and kind of really just silence. Even though obviously the very dynamic, dramatic moments is when they're, you know, going back and forth. But there was a lot going on with them. Was that how did you develop that during the process? What was working with them like? And for any actors maybe that are out there, what do you look for in an actor? What do you want from an actor?
The first question, my Dolores is a close friend of mine. She's been a friend for a very long time. So I wrote the part for her, Romina. And then Flor, I had a friend in mind also, but she was pregnant by the time. She was about to give birth, so I didn't go through the whole casting process. I just had a few names, and then when I met Pilar, I immediately thought she was gonna be Flor, because there was something very genuine about her. I've seen her many times at theater, and like my job was for them to become friends. They weren't friends. They had bumped into each other a couple of times, but they weren't friends. So basically, we met and we ate and we smoked pot. We cannot say that.
We're good now. It's
Yes.
California.
And then we just hung out and have fun and become friends. But they didn't really want to go with, they didn't want to read the script. They didn't want to learn the lines. They didn't want to do anything. They kept like one cutting the other's hair and Instagram, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, okay, we have 2 more weeks and then we start shooting. Come on, girls, let's learn the lines. No. So basically I trusted that what I needed was for them to become close, and those things that you say, that they understand each other by looking at them, that was very crucial. So now they're very close friends, yes. So it was very like fun to work, because it wasn't really work. It was fun.
And what would you like from actors when you work with them?
I'm a very shy person. I don't know if you could tell that, but I'm a very I'm self-aware, and I kind of I see people doing the whole things that actors do, and I feel like embarrassed. I don't know, that's stupid, but that's the way I am. So if somebody came to me with the method, or talking about the character's past, or those things that are I know that many actors work that way, I would just say, I don't know, I'm not sure if this is a good thing to say, but I would just stick to the lines, and we can talk about what I imagine, but I wouldn't go deep on the technique. And so basically I think casting is everything. If you cast, for me, we did a very specific casting, and I was very stubborn. I want this actor, and the guy that plays Juan, that the guy that is Dolores' boyfriend at the end, he's playwright, a very good one that I admired for so long, and he doesn't really act for other projects, so I had to really pursue him to, he would say, okay, let's meet, and then just teach on me, you know, and then 2 days before the film he would say, I'm not sure, I don't want to do it, so I was really like a pain in the neck. So basically casting was everything. So I don't know if I can bring somebody from one place to the other that great, you know, it's casting.
The casting in this was magnificent. So I'm going to ask you the quintessential LA question. What are you working on next? What else can we expect from you?
I'm working on a series for Argentinian television, and then on a film with a friend, Mariana Chenillos is a Mexican filmmaker. We're writing together, but in terms of like my own projects, I have a novel that I would like to adapt, but I don't have the rights yet, so I cannot really say much.
Any questions from the audience? Does the audience have any questions? Any at all? Yes?
I'm curious why the first section ended with the friend, with the kiss with the boy, and what that, I guess, meant about the two girls' friendship and the story.
That's a good question, because every time I put myself into the feminist that I think I am, I feel that there are so many things that I genuinely, like with my instincts, like wrote and shot, and then I would be like thinking, well, what will like a woman that's a very, you know, extreme feminist would think about these two girls fighting over a guy that's like, but I think basically that's life, and when you were young you would fall in love with the same guy, and that would like break a friendship maybe or not. And also there's something that is very idealizado about childhood in the film, that even when things are painful, they're not as painful because you have your friend and you have the soap opera that you live for and you are extremely passionate about. So it was kind of like a joke, like that camera movement at the end and the parchis, you know, the song and everything is like basically that, like living in this shot could have been out of a telenovela, the ones, well, it's a bit more sketched than the telenovela, but I think there's something about not being judgmental about that, that it's real, that you have these strong feelings for this guy and your friend also, and you fight over a guy, and that's life. I don't know if that answers your question.
Well, again, thank you so much. I'm deeply, están saliendo las lágrimas otra vez nomás pensando en la película. Once again, and I keep pointing this out in all of our screenings, you know, this is we took a little hiatus here at LALIFF, and this is our first year back. And all of the films in this festival, actually all of the pieces, all of the bands that were booked, these are curated pieces. So there was no submissions, there was no whittling down, there was no contest, there was nothing. These were handpicked by Mr. Olmos, and I think we can all see why this film was picked by Diana and Mr. Olmos. So on behalf of Mr. Olmos, Rafael Agustin, and everybody of the LALIFF family, thank you so much for bringing your film. Big round of applause. Constanza Novick.